Hello, everybody. Yeah, I think people don't fully understand the president's executive power. Our nation kind of misunderstands the necessity of a powerful leader. I know some of you in the audience are drawing connections to a monarch or some British king, but we're not in the 1790s, guys. The Constitution specifically prevents the president from resembling the unchallenged figure of a powerful king. Article 2 of the Constitution even specifically lists out limitations for the president, like their ability to serve 2 terms for 4 years, the requirement to consult with Congress, and their vulnerability to replacement when the people elect a new president. I'd like to argue that the president's power is relatively fair and necessary, especially in how it relates to our democratic ideals, including natural rights, popular sovereignty, and republicanism. Key documents such as Federalist 70 also argue that a strong government is only possible if led by a strong executive leader. This nation's leader absolutely must possess the ability to act as a supreme voice and make quick decisions, especially when dealing with foreign affairs. Otherwise, we'd probably wait for a painfully prolonged periods of time, just for countless voices to input their needs, and inevitably water down the initial purpose of an act or movement. But what is the president even meant to do? Well, you know, the role is actually defined pretty clearly in the Constitution of the US. It states that the president is placed in office, affirming their intent to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. This Constitution of ours is a fundamental document which holds the freedoms entitled to the American people, basically ensuring that the president must secure these freedoms. This protection can be seen in a more direct way too, as seen in Federalist 70, which states that the president as commander-in-chief must protect the nation from foreign and internal threats. Although anti-federalists compare this supreme power to that of a dictator, the executive leader absolutely must have the inherent powers to protect the public and national treasure. We've seen the growth of these powers too, especially in executive agreements. You know, before 1940, the Senate ratified nearly 800 treaties, and the president had made around 1,200 executive agreements. And then during World War II and the Cold War, while the amount of treaties ratified remained nearly the same, the president's amounts of executive agreements grew to around 1,300 agreements. Franklin D. Roosevelt went crazy with these agreements, making up a quarter of all executive orders ever published. While their executive agreements scared the anti-federalists with their unchallenged power, the people of the republic hold the ultimate power to remove a president from office, as most recently seen with Joe Biden's victory over Trump, or re-elect the executive to represent their beliefs. An executive who can either decide to maintain the agreements or move them entirely, as seen when Trump's administration immediately removed Obama's agreements upon being elected. In the modern era of global access to weapons and mass destruction, cyber affairs, a strong executive power is absolutely required to lead the American nation. Ultimately, I believe that the power which an executive leader holds has proven to be consistently loyal to our nation's democratic ideas. For every seemingly immense power a president has to protect their people, it is the power themselves under the social contract who use our nation's electoral college system to elect the candidates which represents their voice and their desires. Thank you for listening in. I hope you really enjoyed what I had to say and maybe took it to mind. I'm Diego Hernandez, signing off.